today we are here with another board game review, and today we are reviewing Sushi Go.
Yes, good morning everyone. We are going to tell you why you should play Sushi Go. Sushi Go is the very basic drafting game. There is no other mechanic. You just draft cards and then get points based on that.
It's a normal, the pick and pass card game.
Yeah, well, drafting mechanism, if you don't know about what drafting is, that means one player starts the game. So for example, we can play this game from 2 to 5 players. What you do is, one player picks up the cards. Well, each player gets a hand of cards. For example, Ishal, for 2 players, Ishal get 10 cards, I might get 10 cards, I'm not counting here, but let's say I had some cards, and I'm going to pick one card from this, which I'm going to keep, and then give my pile next to other player. And we are both going to reveal what we selected. Now, we are going to continue like this, shifting with each other these cards, selecting one, placing it, selecting one card, giving the pile back to the other player, and then revealing what did we select. So this continues. That's the drafting mechanism, that you are trying to draft your players or cards from the hand, and you keep switching one by one. What this mechanism actually brings is a lot of fun concepts, because not only you're trying to see that what is it that I actually need, but you are also trying to stop the other player from getting what he needs. So you can already see what kind of cards he has already received and what he may be going for, and you have to stop the other player from getting his objective as well. So 2 things get managed by this very simple mechanism, that you keep shifting the hand of cards with each other. Now, before going forward, we have to explain how each of these cards in Sushi Go, that we explained about the drafting mechanism, but now let's go into the actual Sushi Go elements, that what is actually on this card. So Isha, which card do you want to explain first?
I'll explain Maki.
Maki.
Because no, we're not doing that again.
Maki Zumba. Alright, let's explain what Maki rolls do.
So technically, on every card there is always a score like right beside the name. And the score, it may be confusing sometimes.
There are 8 type of cards, and underneath each card, the scoring mechanism is already explained. You can look at the rule book as well to understand what the different 8 type of sushi elements you can get, and accordingly you will be getting score based on how many sets you have collected. So basically, after the drafting mechanism, it is a set collection game. So you're making sets of things and you will be getting points based on that. So let me go quickly through some of the cards so that you understand how different cards go. So for example, the tempura, you can never eat one tempura alone. So you need minimum 2 tempuras. So once you have one tempura, the other player already knows that you need minimum 2 of these to actually score. So if he has another tempura in his hand, he can actually hate draft that tempura as well, just to stop you from getting the points. Because once you have 2 tempuras, then it's worth 5 points. But if it is only 1 tempura in your hand, then it's worth 0. So that's the kind of mechanism you're going for. When you talk about sashimi, it is similar as well. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing them wrong. I don't know all the sushi terms, but sashimi needs 3 of the same kind. And once you have those, then you will get 10 points. So it's a combination of 3 items. Then there are maki rolls. Maki rolls, as Ishal was going to explain, get scored slightly differently. On top of the maki rolls, there is the number of makis available in that particular card. So on each card, a different number of maki rolls might be available, and that makes it different from all the other cards. Now, maki rolls don't give you points unless you have the majority of them. So whichever player has the maximum number of maki rolls gets 6 points. The player who has the second most gets 3 points. So you have to actually, when collecting maki rolls, it doesn't matter how many you have collected, you just have to have at least one more than the other person. And accordingly, a high majority of the cards, and any time you shuffle these cards, there is going to be a high majority of these maki roll cards. Then there are the wasabi sauce. Now, wasabi sauce by itself does not score anything, but if you put a wasabi sauce and on your next turn, let's say, get a nigiri.
Nigiri? No, it's called a nigiri?
I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. We're not.
So if we get a nigiri with it, then you can mix nigiri and wasabi sauce, and that makes it more spicy, and that will give you additional points. So by itself, 3 kinds of different nigiris are available in the game. For example, the salmon nigiri is worth 2 points by itself.
There is an egg nigiri and a squid nigiri.
Yeah.
Any of them works with the wasabi.
The squid nigiri is the highest point one. That's 3 points just by itself. But it makes it more spicy if you play it with the wasabi. So next time you can play a salmon nigiri on a wasabi that mixes them together. So by default it was 2 points. With wasabi it will be 2 multiplied by 3. So it will be worth 6 points. So it's a very good combination if you mix things with nigiri and wasabi. So they make really good combinations. This whole game is played over multiple rounds because it's a very quick game. You just pick a card, select it, give the deck back to other one. Then keep switching until no cards are left. Okay? And that's the end of the round. You collect up your scores and note down the scores. That's not the end of the game. You're going to play through 3 rounds. Now the game comes with a big deck of cards. Okay?
Humongous.
So as you can see here that you're not going to be able to play through all of these cards, and that's where the randomness is going to come. You're always going to shuffle and pick up new batch of cards, split based on the number of players, and then continue to play. And you might get different kind of combination of things every time. At the end of 3 rounds, that's when you add up all the score that you have collected, because you might have started with a bad hand in the first round, but maybe in the second round it will even out. In the third round, it will more even out. So whoever wins that particular round, it doesn't matter. It's actually who ends up having the maximum score. And at that time, if you had the maximum number of pudding cards, but here's a pudding. So if you had the maximum number of pudding cards in your hand, you are going to get 6 points in addition. But if you had the least number of pudding cards, then it's -6. So it's not good as well. It's a risky card that you are taking puddings, but due to that risk, many people don't take the pudding card and you end up getting more scores. So that's something that you have to consider for
I risked myself and took 6 points. Thank God.
Yeah. Now, the other last special card left is not a food, but it's chopsticks. What chopsticks let you do is that you can play a chopstick, and in a future turn, when the cards come to you from the other player, at that time there might be 2 good cards which you want to pick up. So at that time you can waste your chopstick card and pick up 2 cards, not 1, 2 cards from that particular hand. So it's a little bit of future planning as well. The game has a little bit of memory element, because the more players there are, the more drafting it will be happening, and you will have to remember, okay, the last time I sent that batch of cards I had, there were these kind of combination of cards. Now I have received this has this combination of cards. So I might be able to make a particular set more. Again, a very simple game, but has a lot of elements: drafting, memory, and set collection, and using all of that. A very simple but really, really fun game. Yes?
Every time my father forces me to play the game, forces me to like play a game, I will always choose Sushi Go because I really like sushi, even though I never ate it.
Well, yeah, it's a fun theme, very colorful cards, cute graphics on it.
Too cute, too cute.
Yeah, they all have smiley faces on them, even though they are going to get eaten. But again, it's a fun game which you can explain to anyone very quickly and start playing. So Isha, what rating will you give this game?
10 out of 10.
And what you like about
Extra
this
bonus
game?
for cute faces.
Extra points, so she gives it 10 out of 10 plus some extra points for the cute artwork on the cards.
Yes.
Alright, so what is it that you like the most about the game?
Because whenever I don't know, it gives me, I actually don't know. I just enjoy it when I play. It gives me a good feeling. It's like if I want to play. Extra bonus for cute faces.
And is there something you don't like about the game?
Chopsticks.
You don't like the chopsticks? Well, again, chopsticks are slightly more complex to use because you have to plan ahead. Because it feels like when you play a chopstick or take the chopstick, you're wasting a turn. But it might be useful in your next turn that you use the chopstick to actually pick up two ingredients at the same time, which were worth much more points. So if you get a hand of cards which is not really useful, pick the chopsticks. That's what I do. And then next time, when I do get a useful hand of cards, I get to pick two from that. So that's a good use for chopstick. But again, it requires a little bit planning ahead. And if you just want to play for fun and you don't want to plan that much, so don't pick chopsticks. It's all up to you. Alright, so yes, it's a very fun game. Again, a lot of simple concepts mashed together in just a deck of cards. There is a bigger version of this game available as well called Sushi Go Party, which has, again, just more cards.
Oh.
Okay? Just more cards so that you can play with even bigger group. But I think for normal families or even a group of friends, it can play up to 5 players, which is a good enough number. Or you can get 2 copies of Sushi Go as well and mix them together as well. So it works both ways. A really good small game today, but highly recommended. Happy gaming!
Happy gaming!